Hello guys, welcome back to a Pentesters Club. Today we're going to learn a new course named called a Android penetration testing. So what is this a Android penetration testing? Android penetration testing is a type of ethical hacking focused on identifying and exploiting a security weakness in Android application and devices. The goal is to discover the vulnerabilities before a malicious hacker to ensure the app or device is secure for a users. Like what it may be involves, like it may be involves for analyzing the Android apps like APK files. We do the reverse engineering and the app to understand how the app workflow will be done, whether it exposes a sensitive information like API keys, passwords, otherwise internal logics, or some other things. If any persons, let's consider you have an APK file, take it as once you go to here, let's we would like to go to here as a go to here as Firefox. Let's we would like to go for as a Play Store. Let's once in the Play Stores you can get all APK files. If you type any type of app here, like let's type here as Pentest Club, I not yet get anything else here. Let me just type here as no. Where let's we would like to look here. Let's we would like to take here as let me I can take like any other. No, let me we would like to take for us for, then let's just type here. I think my app is not available here. Now let's we just take this. Let's we would like to take here as a AirAsia. So this is AirAsia flights and modes. If you download this APK file, okay, you can also get a extracted of the APK file that you can extract and do the reverse engineering. If you find any type of endpoints, otherwise API keys, hidden payment details of private like API keys and secret keys, where you can get these details and you can try to give to the your target organizations where they can give you the bounty here. Now testing the components like activities, service, content providers or broadcast receivers, and checking if any of them as insecurely exposed. There also you can get it here. And testing is like a static and dynamic testing in APK files. A static testing, it like you are decompiling the app, like you are extracting entirely the source code and you are checking by manually. In dynamic testing, running the app and monitoring the behavior in a real time and intercepting the traffic and modifying the memory. This is also can get a large amount of bounty also. When you go for a network and API testing, like intercepting the app communications like HTTPs or WebSockets, testing for SSL pinning or data leaks or token misuse also. This can also be done. Data storage and testing, looking for a sensitive data stored in a plain text also. And security control bypass, bypassing a root or a jailbreak detection, uh, where we can jailbreak the login pages that will be redirect to some other pages. And payment, I told you in the payment, like it's considered either like we have the AirAsia, otherwise let's you can take it as uh, Delta Airlines. So in the Delta Airlines, where the payment mode also can be rechangeable here. This can be also be done data payment exchange also. and databases and internal storage like multiple apps. They can store their data either in a cloud platform so where you can easily can access if you do the cloud penetration testing. And once you go for a security control bypass, like bypassing a root or jailbreak detections, like I have downloaded this a delta without paying the payments or registering. I'm just making a direct access. That maybe you can make a jailbreak of the app, and people they're going to uh, in like some of exploit forums they're going to sell their databases with it's just all a junk databases. It's not an useful. All databases when you store in the cloud it may be fully encrypted. You need to decrypt the data also. Once you go for as a reverse engineering, you can decompile the app and study the structure and logic how the website, otherwise the app will work. That's it. Modifying or changing how the app behaves. Now, what are the main content we are going to look here? The main thing is number one is first we would like to study about introduction to Android architecture. Architecture and security. Number two is we need to setting up the environment. Number three, once you go for here, static analysis of APKs. Then later we would like to go for as a dynamic analysis of APKs. Then we go for a reverse engineering and repacking. Number six, we go for insecure data storage. So all apps may be stored in AWS, Azure, otherwise GCP. Choice is their wish. They can store like anyhow. Insecure, next. Insecure communication. So we go for as 8. Android app components exploitation. Now, we go for again as web view vulnerabilities. Like some of the websites, let's consider fly as a Delta. These have a website also, a Delta Airlines, and they have also app where we can exploit in both Android and uh, uh, APK and websites also, where you can get the twice bounty. Then root detection and bypass. Number 11 for obfuscation, anti-debugging, or we would like to bypass. Then at the end of our time, we would like to do here as a real world bug, bug hunting and vulnerability testing. That's it. These are the 12 lessons is more important. So we would like to test each and everything. Like in these cases, when you come to here as introduction to an Android, where we would like to understand how Android OS architecture work in the Linux kernel or Android runtime, and also Android security models, app sandboxing permissions, and everything. Android application life cycles and type of Android apps, APK, AAB, and everything we need to know before we start here. Then later we would like to set up the Android lab for exploiting the Android Studio and installing like Genymotions, otherwise BlueStacks, or booting a Android emulator or a physical device, installing and testing a tools like a Frida, Burp Suite, ADB, uh, MobSF, JAX, and etc. things. Then we also look like APK tools like a JAX GUI, GHydra, bytecode weaver, everything. In static analysis, we would like to decompile the APK with APK tools with the JAX and analyzing the Android mainfest.xml and classes.text. It's more important where you can get the uh, real identities of the APKs. And identifying insecure components, activities, services like content providers, hard-coded secrets. Also, we can get it if you uh, decode, decompile the APKs also. Then, once you understand, when you go for as a dynamic analysis, APKs using like Burp Suite or a traffic interception, setting up SSL pinning and bypass the FIDRA objections. Then we also runtime analysis with the FIDRA, memory dumping, and hooking functions, and monitoring a file system and logs. Also, this can be done. And once we go for a reverse engineering and repacking, modifying a small code like a payment details, if they ask a Netflix, they ask you, you need to take the payment before. If you remove the payment section of the that one, you can entirely log in and access entirely the code of the main Netflix. This is also a good way, but they can repack and send and don't download from any telegrams or XYZ things. They can insert a payload, and once you install, you have given entirely of your permissions to the hacker. Once we go for insecure data storage, like we would like to analyze a share folders, otherwise SD cards, SQLite databases, credentials, and token storage vulnerabilities also. Then we can also intercept Android APKs like HTTP traffic, broken SSL implementations, certificate pinning, and bypass, and man in the middle attacks also can be done here. And once we go for Android app components like exploitation, activity services like broadcast receiver, and content providers like attacks, intent sniffing, and injections, we can see here. Then, web view vulnerabilities. Every APK that may be a design with JavaScript, where we have a JavaScript interfaces to abuse it, insecure web view configurations with a file, where you can get entirely with an access exploit in APKs also, that can be done. And once we would like to go for here, root detection techniques like build to pro. Uh, where we would like to get the root detection like Maggie SK exposed of the data, and we would like to change accordingly to ourselves in the root detection. And once we go for obfuscation and anti-debugging bypass, it's like a common anti-debugging techniques, obfuscation framework, ProGuard, and DexGuard. What else they available? We would like to bypass the instrumentation of the techniques also. Then, once you go for any real-time bug hunting, like we would like to look like improper platform usage, insecure data storage, insecure communication, insecure authentication, insufficient cryptography, insecure authorization, client code quality, code tampering. Then we go for reverse engineering and extraneous functionalities. We can design our own functionalities to run their APKs also. That's it. So these are the Android penetration testing uh, for the codes. Now, we also use tools like Kali Linux, and we would like to install Android Studio in the Kali Linux, and Frida, Burp Suite, JEDAX, Hydra, APKTools, Android debugging, Wireshark, a man in the middle proxy, Drozer, components for analysis, and some CTFs will be involved in this. That's it here. So this is the basic introduction about Android penetration testing. So next tutorial, we would like to discuss about introduction to an Android security. That's it here.